Mike, there's a breaking news that happened in the commercial break. So what you're looking at photographs right now of Michael WALTZ. He is the president's national security advisor, except for we just got news that he is going to be leaving the administration along with his deputy, Alex Wong.
All right, troops. Mike WALTZ, national security advisor. More like national security. Oops. Anyway, this Thursday, WALTZ has been fired, or as Trump put it, he's taken a new opportunity in the private sector, which is MAGA code for we gave him the boot, but let him keep his dignity and his Signal login. What a disaster, and how they try to cover it up.
A report the president's planning to fire Mike WALTZ. You guys have a response?
Why haven't you nominated a single judge?
Anyway, if you missed the scandal, let me just catch you up. WALTZ, a former Green Beret, real-life action man, national security advisor, accidentally added a journalist to a private Signal group where they were discussing classified military operations. Yes, he basically handed the Atlantic a front-row seat to America's foreign policy. Oops. That's like giving the nuclear codes to a Starbucks barrister and going, just don't press the red one before noon, or something as crazy as that.
Mr. President, the last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden, and then we've had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
And who was a journalist, by the way, who got all of this? Jeffrey Goldberg, the guy who already exposed Trump for calling troops losers and suckers. That's who WALTZ invited to the Pentagon's private group chat, like he was adding him to a fantasy football league. Hey Jeff, welcome. Today's topic, Yemen airstrikes and our top secret Iran escalation schedule. Also, don't tell anyone. WALTZ's defense. I thought it was a different Jeff. I mean, come on. What next? What, he thought TikTok was encrypted?
But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. And we're going to figure out how this happened.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this?
To be fair, WALTZ had it coming. This is a guy, seriously, who thought being national security advisor meant, running foreign policy from his iPhone like he's booking a Spirit airline flight. And not only did he add a journalist, he kept using Signal after the leak. Come on! That's like being caught cheating and immediately texting your side piece or somebody from OnlyFans. Did you delete the pics?
All right, let's talk about what is going on with the Houthi rebels. We've been bombing them pretty consistently since the middle of March.
Literally
you had 1,000
ago,
U.S. strikes on different
the guy
targets.
Was on Fox
when are they going to start getting the message?
And
is the message
clearly
really
unaware that
to
he
Iran?
was fired? This is journalism.
Well, you heard Secretary Hegseth
at
that Iran needs to wake up. Iran needs to get the message that it can be a
lot of people ask me, they want to know it's so bad.
Hegseth's still there, by the way. WALTZ is out. Alex Wong, his deputy, gone too. You know it's serious when both get fired by Trump. A guy who thinks indictment is just a spicy kind of endorsement. And the excuse train is already chugging. Remember they said, we were hacked, it was AI, it was Hillary. Of course it was Hillary. Anything to avoid saying the truth, that this administration runs on chaos like a toddler on Red Bull. The real sad tragedy of all of this is Mike WALTZ went out not with a bang, but with a, who added this guy to the chat? I mean, the lines are right themselves. WALTZ has now left the chat. Anyway, in conclusion, never trust a man who uses Signal for war strategy and WhatsApp for lunch plans. Bye-bye, Mike. He didn't even laugh. How many scaramouches did WALTZ laugh? Sorry. Maybe the next person could just announce America's secrets by Instagram Reels, because if We might as well get some likes on the way down if that's the whole intention, to crash America's secrets. Oh, it's just day 102 of the calamity that is the Trump administration. Steady as you go. Watch your back, Hexer.
Stories, and they're just a failing magazine. The public understands that. He's a very good man. That man is a very good man right there that you criticize so strongly. He's a very good man, and he will continue to do a good job. In addition to him, we had very good people in that meeting, and those people have done a very, very effective job, and you're going to see it. And it goes on, by the way.
I think the final word should go to Ilhan Omar. I think she's kind of recreated the Trump moment to waltz. One moment you're on Air Force One, the next moment...
Fuck off. Actually go on the trip. I was told he was not supposed to go on the trip. And so people raised questions about what this moment meant. So we've been asking White House officials about it. And essentially it just got to a point where he didn't have a lot of confidence, not of the president, not of his senior staff. And he was told, I was told earlier this week, that his time as the national security advisor had come to an end and it was time for him to leave. And now we are told that he will be departing, and so will his.
Is expected to leave his post. His departure comes after he inadvertently added an Atlantic journalist to a group chat about sensitive U.S. military plans in Yemen. But President Trump initially brushed off concerns, saying WALTZ had learned a lesson and is a good man. Let's bring in senior reporter Catherine Falders for more. Catherine, what's the latest here?
Well, look, we know that Michael Waltz, the national security advisor, is expected to leave his post as national security advisor. There could possibly be other people who work under him who will be leaving as well.
And what really blows my mind is...
Well, Harris, this is really stunning news coming out of the White House. It's been confirmed by our own Jackie Heinrich, White House correspondent, that Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, and his deputy, Alex Wong, have been pushed out of that position by the president. This comes just after the 100-day mark. You'll remember during the first Trump administration, of course, Mike Flynn was the shortest serving national security advisor. He lasted 24 days. This is obviously coming in the wake of what has become known as Signalgate, where shortly before the U.S. launched its military campaign against the Houthis in Yemen, Mike Waltz, as national security advisor, mistakenly added the Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg to a Signal chat in which his defense secretary, as well as other national security, the head of the CIA and others, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, were on a very sensitive talk on this insecure platform that's not used for government conversations typically. That led to an embarrassing incident with Defense Secretary Hegseth sharing what are largely believed to be classified details of that Houthi operation about the timings of airstrikes, the timings and what kind of military platforms were going to be used. And so what we have seen, we've seen a vacuum created here surrounding Defense Secretary Hegseth. He's fired 5 close associates in the wake of that Signalgate, as well as because of leak investigations here at the Pentagon. Some of those positions remain empty. And then National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, you'll remember, Harris, Laura Loomer, who is a conservative activist, went in to see the president and had a list of people on the National Security Council that Mike Waltz then had to turn around and fire. So there has been incredible instability at the top of the national security team for the president. And Jackie Heinrich is reporting that there could be more shoes to drop. In fact, we just heard from Tim Kaine, a Democratic senator who sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. He just spoke to Fox News. If we have that bite isolated, it'd be interesting to hear from him right now.
All right. I don't know if we have that. We want to give team a chance to check up. Maybe you can give us a primer on it. This is just breaking right now from Democrat Senator Tim Kaine. Jennifer.
What he said was that, in fact, he believes that more shoes could drop, suggesting that there are more firings to come. He quoted Senator John McCain and talked about legs falling off a centipede. I think that was the quote. But he also earlier had spoken to our producers on the Hill, and he had expressed extreme concern about a late-night tweet by Defense Secretary Hegseth in which he threatened Iran with potential military action if they don't control the Houthis. And Senator Kaine, again, a key member of the Armed Services Committee, said we don't need another war in the Middle East, something that I think many would agree, in which the president, of course, campaigned on. So there's a lot of turmoil right now. Again, a great deal of vacuum at the top of the national security advising chain as a result of the removal of Mike Waltz, who had been seen as a loyalist to President Trump for many years. These are some of his closest advisors that have been pushed out.
Absolutely, Jennifer.